in our last video, if you remember, we were just pulling our data from Robintrack. Specifically, they had a Kaggle notebook for us where we had to run through the data, pull these CSV files, and put into one data frame. And then we outputted, we concatenated those data frames together, and we have this large data frame here with all these different holdings of these different tickers of Robinhood users. So you'll notice that we have a ticker here with a timestamp. We want to remove that. We want to remove that timestamp, and we'll just call it timestamp. So to do that, we're just going to say data frame dot index dot names, and that's just going to equal timestamp. For now, remove that. So you can see what that has done. We just renamed our timestamp index column. So let's continue again. So now for the fun part, we can do some data analysis now. We can do some exploratory analysis and graphing. So we're going to import Seaborn SNS. This is just a graphical library in Python that's going to help us visualize a lot of this data. So we have that. So let's just plot some of this information. So, without looking too much into it, let's pick a popular stock. Let's look at Tesla. So we can say, take our graphical library, Seaborn SNS, dot, and let's create a line plot. And we can take our data, and the data is in this data frame. And let's look at the Tesla column. And it's going to be probably Tesla. And as you can see, it's this syntax here is the name of the ticker and underscore users holding. So we'll say Tesla underscore users holding. Run that, see what that looks like. There we go. So we can see over a time series of basically what users are holding. And I think when you look at this data set, each data point here stands for one share of that stock. So it looks like over time, there was about, 80,000 shares, and that has increased all the way up to 160,000 shares of Tesla stock that is being held by a user in Robinhood. So let's add to this. So we can add other popular stocks. Let's the famous Apple SNS.line plot. Again, we can say data equals, and you can again just take our data frame and you can put in the column name. So Apple's ticker is AAPL, users holding. See what that looks like compared to Tesla. Obviously, there's a lot more users are holding Apple, but we can also do some other interesting things here. Let's sort these values. So maybe we're interested in a specific date. Let's look at the end of this data set. You have that tail. So you can do the last 5 rows of the data set. It's going up to 2019, 602. So let's look at that time period. And of course, this is a data set. We can actually go back to the Robin track and actually get the most updated recent data, but we're just going to work with this data set here to get a feel for things. So we have, what we can do is in pandas, we have something called LOC, location, and we want to look at 2019-0602. That's the date that we want to look at. So if we run that, you'll see that we have all the holdings for the stocks during that date, during that day. And what we can do is, let's sort our values. And if we do that, we can have it from least to largest. And we can then let's drop some of these NaN values. So we can say something, drop NA, drop those. We can see the smallest holdings of these stocks during that day to the largest holdings. And let's just see the last 10 values of this data series. And if we just want to see the stocks, you can see the dot index, and this will create a list of our stocks of the last 10 top 10. So in a sense, these are like the top 10 holdings of users, of Robinhood users, of stocks that Robinhood users are holding. So from there, let's start plotting this. So what we can do is we need to import matplotlib, which is going to help us plot this data with Seaborn. So matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. And we can use plt.figure to get the size of our plot. So we'll say fig size, takes an argument fig size equals, I'll say 14/7 for now. And now we can use our Seaborn library sns.lineplot. And what we want to use is data equals data frame. And we can just copy these top 10 holdings here, put it in here. And we need to specify, one other thing we need to specify is dashes equals false. So that's, we can plot all these different holdings. And the reason why we're doing that is because if you don't specify that argument, C1 won't allow you to plot all these holdings greater than 5, I believe. So basically it's just going to have no dashes. It just have solid lines with different colors. So let's plot that, see if that works. There you go. So we can see, we have a little legend here. We can see the different holdings. Who's this over here? This ACB. This looks like, and I believe ACB is a Canadian marijuana company. And you can see over this time period, and it's a little hard to see for the dates here, but from 2018, 05 through 2009, 19, 05, you can see how users have really flocked towards this specific company. And a lot of other companies have, stayed consistent over time. So this is very interesting to see. In our next video, we'll do some further data analysis of looking at, lease holdings, top holdings, and maybe do some hypothesis tests. So if you like this video, please subscribe. Till next time. Thanks, guys.